and it completely changed the driving experience of many of my vehicles, and I'll show you which ones I have modified. Howdy, welcome back to the Addicted Motors YouTube channel. My name is Troy, and today we're going to talk about a little known, I'm going to call it a hack, that will completely transform how you feel about your older high mileage vehicles for less than $5. Something that is not really discussed, and I think you'll find it pretty interesting, so let's get into it right now. Now, if you're into older vehicles, kind of like the ones you see all around me, you'll know that there are certain aspects of maintenance that you can refresh and that will really change the driving dynamics of the car from a mechanical perspective. You can change brakes, brake fluid, tire, suspension components, bushings, oils, tune-up. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do to kind of revitalize how the car feels, to tighten it up, and to get some of the, breathe a little bit of that life and comfort back into a car if it's been kind of beat on, used, or just in general lack of maintenance. But that is what most people consider a full tune-up. But there's other aspects of the driver creature comforts of your vehicle that will drastically improve how you feel and how other people feel once they get in the car. And we'll talk about that right now. And so the topic really is, it's your seat comfort. Now, it's, again, something that is not really mainstream when it comes to the discussion of revitalizing older cars, because there's not really an easy fix. You can go to the junkyard, you can get a new seat cushion or a full new seat. If it's a power seat, you can't get it because you can't move it to access a certain bolt. So it's one of those things that's really overlooked or just pretty much dealt with by car enthusiasts. As time goes on, the bolsters, the springs, the styrofoam, whatever it is in the bottom and side bolsters of your older vehicle due to high mileage previous owners is going to shift and really change the way your car feels. And it's not something that people think about from a upgrade standpoint, because it's something that people just kind of deal with. And again, if you're someone like me that exclusively drives older vehicles, you know, it's not the thing you think about when you get in the car is if it's going to run. Is it going to catch on fire? What's the engine noise making? Why does it have a misfire? It's not, hey, why is my seat lopsided or something like that. You're sitting in the seating position of someone else who put hundreds or lots of miles and seat time in that car and has shaped the seats in a certain way. And that might not be the way that it was designed from the factory, which might also make you think that there are other suspension or drivability related issues of your car, but might actually just be a misaligned or a lopsided or a messed up seat. Or it could cause some type of back problem or something. It's something that I found a fix for. Well, a cheap fix that has really pretty much reinvigorated my joy of driving certain vehicles that I own that were just kind of, I was getting overly annoyed with, and I didn't really know the reason why. So, the first vehicle that we're going to discuss is my L322 Range Rover. Now, this vehicle, truck, whatever you want to call it, I got it with 150,000 miles. It has 178 or something on it. Now, that's a lot of miles. This is a one-owner truck, so some individual, I would assume someone who is either slightly heavier set, put 150,000 miles of a certain way of driving on this driver's seat over the course of, I don't know, 15 years. And due to that, I mean, so wear, I'm not talking about cosmetics here, that's an easier fix. This seat was lopsided to the driver's side forever. And around town it wasn't that noticeable, but on long trips, I would kind of slouch over one way, and it really kind of felt like the car was slouching over, and it wasn't just me. And I did something, and I've done it on many of my cars, and it's something I put off for very long, and it really put off my enjoyment, or saying, oh, I'll take this vehicle or another because the seats really were annoying me. So, I've done a video on this before, but since most cars on the US roads today are, I don't know, 12 to 20 years old, that spread is getting bigger and bigger, I wanted to talk to you about pool noodles. Now, this is something I've been doing in cars since probably my first car in, let's say, 2005, first old car that I purchased myself. And it's using pool noodles to support the existing bolsters of whatever vehicle or car it is. Does this work in a modern, let's call my X5? No, because it's not all one foam pad. It only really kind of works in older vehicles that you can remove the seat or gain access to the underbite of the seat. And you do that by pretty much shoving these styrofoam pool noodles into the dilapidated bolsters of whatever vehicle it is to add or supplement the failed or broken supports. These are about $1 each. You can get them at any dollar store, and it completely changed the driving experience of many of my vehicles, and I'll show you which ones I have and how I did that to achieve a better ride quality. So again, the most significant difference was on the L322. Now, this seat, and for all you Land Rover people out there, you're not going to be able to just reach your hand under and shove it out. You're going to have to remove the seat, or at least the seat support. It's like weird hex 10 millimeter. You remove all the bolts that secure the seat, you tilt it back, and you pretty much get a thinner pool noodle. So it's this one, this white one I got at Dollar Tree, and I shoved it up under the existing semi-collapsed bolster here. Now this was pretty much collapsed all the way below this seat line, so I know I stuffed it up as much as possible to match the other side, so when I sit in the seat, I'm not lopsided, and I have even distribution of my weight. And I can't tell you how big of a difference that made of how I sit in the car, what my driving position is, and I feel like the car drives better because the seat feels better. And it's not, again, something that I think most people think about, but in this case, it really worked. And a really easy way to tell if your seat is messed up, if you don't feel it right off the bat, is sit in the passenger seat. I guarantee you it'll feel more comfortable, more evenly supported, and more bolstered than your 187,000 mile driver's seat. And that's how you know what the difference is, or you know once you supplement it with the pool noodles, whether or not you've done it correctly. And I know that's a very easy, simplistic way to look on it, but you know, there's nothing better or nothing more frustrating than sitting in the passenger seat of your car, wishing you should change it over to the driver's seat, but it has an armrest or something and you can't. So that's kind of how I ended up here. So the next big change I made was in the 97 F250 Powerstroke. Again, probably a bigger gentleman owned it. He was the same owner for 200,000 miles. So the seats held up relatively well, but again, it's a fully foam seat, so obviously over the years this has degraded as far as how supportive it is. And I have to go in and redo it because I need to put more on the side and then more on the back. And again, I only realized it was saggy after sitting on the passenger seat and realizing I was missing out on, I guess, some of the visibility from sitting up higher, because these seats don't really adjust, and just the balance of having an equally bolstered seat. This one I did have to remove as well, so you just remove the 4 seat bolts, tilt it out, and you are able to shove pool noodles in here. One, I guess, downside or complaint that you might have is if you've especially heated seats, will it melt? I don't think the heating elements really affect the styrofoam, or I don't think the way that they're really touching or anything like that, but you can do this at your own risk. And I think, well, I've done it on other vehicles too, but the most noticeable difference, at least recently when I've done it, is on the Mercedes SEC. Now, it has these beautiful leather seats that are in great condition, except, again, after 187,000 miles, the driver's seat was significantly, and that's pretty much all these W126 Mercedes. It was significantly less supportive than the passenger seat, and on these cars that causes some major leather cracking as well. If one side is less bolstered than the other side, they'll kind of crease in the middle and just start, again, pretty much the leather just starts to just age and crease at the wrong way. This seat had to be removed. I pretty much tilted it back, put a couple pieces on this side and on this side just because it was worn evenly, and now I have a very evenly sprung seat and the car feels more stable. And I know before I thought that it was literally sagging to one side or I had some kind of suspension issue. Really, you know, now it's easier for me to isolate suspension issues because I'm sitting in an even keel, I guess, in the car. And this is all fixes that I made for dollars. And again, vastly improved how the seat looks, feels, and how the car drives. I think it's a pretty cheap hack if you're looking to, you know, just spruce up your existing setup. So I want to keep this video short to make it a little less clickbaity, but again, Let me know in the comments if you've used this method before, what vehicles you've used it on, and if you haven't used it and try it out, how successful or not it is. Because again, it's something that I always put off for too long. And then again, I get frustrated. I look for another seat. And even if I find another seat to replace the one that has the bolster issues, I always forget that it's probably 20 or 30 plus years old, and the straps and the springs that hold it up are also going to probably break pretty soon, because this stuff is just getting old. So again, using the pool noodles to support those existing springs and the structure of the seat is a cheap, easy way to really improve the driving quality of your aging or older vehicle. So that's my spiel. Please like and subscribe, do all that fun YouTube stuff, and check out the rest of my channel. I've got probably 1,000 other videos and tips, tricks, reviews, cars for sale, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.